Excellent, excellent. All right, so Friday. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Friday. It is Friday. Just doing that for the thumbnail, so it's look attractive, a little bit attractive, I guess. Instead, it's just a naked chart here. Yeah, it's Friday. We're not gonna trade up today because it's Friday. Just because. Um, I don't want to back test on Friday either. No, I mean like back test while doing the stream either. But yeah, we can just let the chart sit, and then if I spot any trades at all, I will hopefully go into basically come in and do it. But yeah, let's go ahead and start the stream, and then we can do some a little bit of markup here on the charts. Why not? Since we're here already. So future goals. Currently still doing the trail, still doing the challenges. I just got the trend lines incorporated into the trading perception as well, so I'm working on that end. And we still have a lot of data to cover, a lot of data to compare as well. So that is one big thing. That's a daily. Okay, so on the daily time frame, price is ranging in the middle for quite a week now because it's low liquidity. There's not a lot of large movements at all. And we have a 4 hour here. Let's mark that down. And then 3 hours. Eh. Order blocks of these magnitude, especially in price action doesn't go back and forth like this, doesn't have that much power or significance. Is bounce off, did not break the previous low, which is good. Still maintaining the trend from yesterday. 3 hours still choppy. 1 hour see a little bit more clear. See this trend here has been maintained and finally it's broken. Price come down here, still maintain this low, so it's coming back up to the trend once again. Kind of breaking a new trend, I should say. Let's go zoom down a little bit more. Minor break, bounce off of this. Eh, it's in the middle, I should say. It's not too much um, technicals at the moment. Price did break through, and so the trend is not even that established in my opinion. Because we're scalping, we don't really care about too much about that, anyways. This one here is our 815. Price broke through this. Now it's continued breaking to the upside. So I would think that it trying to maintain. I would think that price trying to maintain the breakout here. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how in 1 hour we have any obstacles ahead for our price to reach or not. Some minor trend right there. Something dynamically, but it's on the previous daily high anyways. Yeah, previous daily high. 15 minutes. Nothing much. The same here, nothing much going on. You see how this actually breaks as well. Look at this. Price break this. Let's see if there's any no order blocks in between. No, there isn't any 5 or 3 order block. Let's see on the 1 minute if there's any 1 minute order block here. Nope, it's all the way up there. So what you're seeing here, let's go ahead and draw the Fibonacci. See if it's at 50%, and it basically is. See how that matches up with the trend. So these kind of examples, it's these kind of examples exist on the chart, and it happens sometimes, I should say, and the trend kind of matches up with the 0.5 at the same time. So after this candle here, this candle engulfing here, you can basically do another entry over here. I think it's one of perceptions trading on the notepad that I have. If the zone is within the trend, see if the 0.5 Fibonacci matches the trend. Equal entry, stop loss below, above, interest zone. and we don't have an interest zone here, so we have to stop loss up uh, below or above, the zone itself. But this is around 8 a.m. So it's just one of the setups that we can easily identify on the charts, and through these kind of identification, we can take the trade. That's basically it. It's really simple. It's just based down to the candlesticks. All right. If you take the trade of the trend break every single time, right, off like that, the retracement every single time, it will not be profitable. And I tried, doing trend trade before. It's not gonna be that great. So, um, you need to have a certain criteria and a certain skill in seeing candlestick patterns and candlestick formation in order to do that, and as well as incorporate Fibonacci and other stuff like that, so that it will strengthen your probability in trading the trend. Because if you trade off trend breakouts alone, it will not be profitable. I can tell you that, because look at this. This is also a trend break, technically a trend break, right? Price come down over here, but the candlesticks. Oh my god. Well, the candlestick itself, when price come down here, good rejection. But then after all of this, will this be enough? Will that be enough? Right? And price pushes up a little bit there, kind of wick through, but was not really that powerful, I should say. A little bit too deep. And then at the same time, it's around 4 a.m. as well, is when London starts to scatter out. So there are less buying or selling pressure here. Buying pressure. Hmm. Yeah. All right, back on there. So there are a few things I want to analyze and put out from yesterday, actually, which is these kind of setups. These setups here, let's go back in time to 1 minute actually. These kind of setups here, you can see that there is a 1 minute order block. And because there is a 1 minute order block, it kind of form a stepping stone, I should say. And that's why I put it in my notes here. Is if this is there's no 3 or 5 minutes here. So if the zone, right, interest zone matches the trend line, that's just basically an entry. There's no brainer there. If it's there, just matches the entry, then that's the most lax entry out of all. It's just that the risk reward ratio was not satisfied for me, so that's why I didn't really was not really satisfied with that trade there. But I try to work on the 1 to 3 on live action. Needless to say. All right. So yeah, I mean at this moment there aren't anything much going on, and I can see a lot of examples where trend breakouts doesn't work. When sometimes trend just fake out and stuff like that, and of course the trend lines is just indication of a channel breakout. So I think it's more or less it's a lot more profitable and basically better to combine the trend line with order blocks, combine the trend lines with key levels and stuff like that. It's just that it's another separate trading strategy on its own, and it's just something that the mass follow. So why not just follow something that the mass does? Um, so yeah, that's just the way that I go about it. But there isn't anything here. There's a 1 minute there, but I don't feel too strong about this area here. Fibonacci is way past due, way past 50. So yeah, we have low liquidity on Friday. With that said, um, I'll just basically sit around, see what's going on. Honestly, uh, yeah. I mean, that's just a routine thing. I'm gonna eat some breakfast here. One of my what is it? The Nature Valley crunchy oats and honey granola bars. 2 bars. Shout out to Nature Valley. Been feeding me. All right. Yeah, eat some breakfast and then gotta get back. Just gonna maintain the audio bit rate so that um it kept going. I guess. Yeah, Friday. There aren't a lot of things going on, so yeah. doing ASMR. ASMR. Major. Let me say this. Well, one major psychology issues with trading is that people overtrade and they trade a lot. I still used to trade from 8 to 11. That's 3 hours, and it doesn't work out for me. Uh, my schedule usually I go to bed like 12:30 and wake up around 8. That doesn't work out for me, so that's why I back it up by 1 hour, and so far it works great. 2 hours is pretty much enough for scalping, and opportunities present itself every single day as well. If there aren't any, then it's fine. But scalping, especially the way that I scalp, and trading multiple strategies, scalping for 2 hours is enough for the day. And the majority of the time we used to backtest. Essentially, backtesting takes a lot of time, and I should say it takes at least 5 times, 5x time than the normal chart time than live trade. So that's just one thing. Yep, just waiting for it. All right, let's get back. Let's get back. All right. I mean, for now, it is kind of retracing back once again and see how this line works out. Kind of touching the dynamic trend. See if there are anything that's stopping it, and basically give us the power to push down. There is a 1 hour there, so that's probably why. 30 minutes, not that much. Let's see, 15. No, but it is sitting in a 1 hour, so that's good. It is sitting in the 1 hour order block zone and with the dynamic trend as well. We don't have any 15 at the moment. Let's see when it closes. The next 12 minutes. 5. Nope, nothing there. 3, something there. See if we can break through there and basically, hopefully, push down once again. This is like really minor trend, I should say. Extremely minor trend, and it's riskier than normal. If price were to come back up anyways. Let's go open up. Here we go. That's the interest zone. Got the 1 and the 3 as well. The 5 is a little bit lower. Yeah, the 5 is a little bit lower than the overall zone itself. Let's see if it's gonna reach all the way upside or not. I wanted to go all the way up here. See how this candle reacts, because it's extremely bullish. Unlike the trending sideways, I want to see this candle actually closes. Nope, it does not close. That's confirming the trend, continuing upside. Let's see, we have a 5, no 5. We have a 3 minutes though. So that can still work. See how this goes. The 3 minutes interest zone is holding it together. That's all it is. The 1 minute is not really, doesn't have that much power at all. So now, let's see if the next few candles can give us a good sign of rejection. Then we can entry. But for now, let's just hold it off. The main reason why I didn't enter is just because this is an extreme overbought zone, and if I'm selling here, there needs to be a really good sign. Like this is not a good sign right here. At least have some kind of rejection down, like this current candle at the moment. But I doubt it's gonna. Do that. There's a 1 there. There are many ways to draw a trend. It's just many ways to draw a trend. It's just basically subjective, I should say. It is extremely subjective, and yeah, that's the reason why we have it today. We have some good rejection there, but that's more or less a doji. More or less a doji right there. It's not a lot. And things happens on Friday where institutions want to get out. This is almost at the end of London session. Um, so that's why they want to get out of the position. Most likely want to get out. This push here is from low liquidity and little contest. This little contest is Friday, the last Friday of the year. Just to keep in mind, last Friday of the year. Tomorrow, we're gonna have some good buys on 2022 and head on 2023. But yeah, this is an extremely overbought zone. There aren't a lot of things going on that can give us a clarity where we can reverse or not. There's a many ways to draw a trend, I should say. Many ways to draw a trend. It's just that somebody here decided to be at this level and not down here at the trend where it is, more recently supposed to be. And they wanted to, value it at this area, which is fine. But yeah, other than that, we are going to be extremely overbought, so I'm not even going to consider anymore unless I see a good sign. So talking about the future, um, how do I say? Next year, well, New Year's Day is the holiday, anyways. Uh, Works Factory. See tomorrow on Sunday and on Monday. Monday we have a lot of bank holiday, so yeah, it is holiday, and we have the Swiss, we have the Great Britain pounds, we have Canadian, U.S. dollar, New Zealand, and Japanese yen. All of those big bangs are off, so we're not gonna have a lot of trading volume in the market, and that will cost us a little bit in terms of stuff. And we may have to just fully back test on Monday. That's it. And on Tuesday, January 3rd, things started picking up once again, and then slowly throughout the year. So I'm gonna log on to FTMO. No, that's not the one that I want. FTMO. The notes. Nope. And you just saw my login. Holy shit. Yep. Nobody's watching. And somebody's watching. Someone is watching. Cool. But yeah, it's just Friday talk. Just gonna sit around. We don't have a lot of liquidity today, so that's why we're just gonna talk around, see what's going on. And this is just the demo account on the side what I do testing. My real account on F15 TMO, on FTMO is a different account. This is just like a trail on the side. And let's see here. And it ends on January 2nd. The trail on January 2nd. Okay, on Monday. So it should be out. And the condition weren't that great for me throughout the FTMO trial on this one. I still want to see how to get used to the FTMO spread and stuff. But yet the last challenge did pass. Let's go into analysis. Just want to show this for a second. But yeah, we did. The trail itself on the 14 days did pass, and I see this as something of like a beginning, I guess, on the FTMO. I've been doing my Forex fund and now slowly transitioning to FTMO. See how different the two firms are. But yeah, essentially the last challenge was really good, and it was 2 weeks before the last week of the year, so the liquidity was great. I'm not trying to blame the market for anything, but yeah, we have some good history. Um, Results I just hit there. As soon as it hits a take profit, I just take it off. Um, yeah, I'm still not that satisfied with the risk reward ratio in general because the spread on GU is kind of off, I should say. On the account metrics, see all the history here. So it's not a lot, but it's something, and I kind of see how it kind of collides together. How the losses are not consistent around 1%, how the profit is not consistent around 1 to 3%. Um, yeah, so this loss here, right there, is go overboard just a little bit. Um, it went overboard, and this one here at 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. So we have two satisfied trades. So these are the two right here. Uh, cool. So they do have logging, graph and opening, graph and closing, win strategy, exit strategy. Okay, so they do have that. So that's really cool. Yeah, this one has been a bummer. I just been up and down with these one, man. Not a good thing to go for at all. I just kind of swing the whole thing. Max daily losses already exceeded it, and profit target was not there. But because the date is still available, I still trying to trade around. But yeah, this is a huge part of psychology I need to fix essentially. But yeah, I will try to lock my trade here on FTMO trail, and then yeah, see how it goes from there. Yeah, this one was not something I should be proud of. The next challenge, I'll try to do it a little bit better than this one. Okay, so now again from this perspective, now we don't have a 15-minute order block at all, and we don't have a 5 minutes at all. We have a three, and now we just basically trying to form some kind of structure for me to base off of. But that's pretty much it. So for you for the future, sign up on January 2nd. There we go. So Monday, that's when the challenge ends. I will also try to register the same on that day, and then try to take the challenge on, see how it goes, and then hopefully things works out. Hopefully my perception pays off, and I'll keep doing this for the next basically four more challenges, four more trail accounts to see how it goes, if my perception match up with the real markets or not, and see how my performance perform. And yeah, after that we will purchase the challenge and just go straight for it. That's the plan for the future. And yeah, that's pretty much it. On Friday today, we don't have a lot of things going on. It's just mostly going to be a lot about back testing offline today. I'll try to focus even more on back testing today. And so one thing I've seen is that when I eat a lot of sugar, like a lot of sugar, like carbohydrates throughout the day, at night when I'm trying to backtest, my brain slowly but surely doze off. That's really yeah, my brains usually doze off just a little bit, and that's something I do not like. So I'll try to eat less sugar for the day and try to maintain my sugar level so that it will not have the afternoon shutdown, I should say. But yeah, that's another goal. And what else? Okay, let's see back on the charts for a second here. We have something, a little bit of something. Maybe just a little bounce off though. See this here? Maybe it's just a little bounce off. Maybe not. It can be pushed through and then come back around once again. But either way, we have a small trend forming here. Let's go ahead and delete this one. Kind of outdated. That's how fast scalping setup just gets straight outdated. For me at least. 3 minutes. Yeah, around this dynamic line. So chances are it's gonna break that. I hopefully it has something here so we can take the sell back down. Now that we have sufficient selling pressure, I should say, sufficient selling pressure coming back down. We have a doji there, sign of some battling, and it's not enough. Doji is basically a battle fought and draw. If it's basically draw, if you think about it that way, if the battle from the bull and bear is drawn, then the current trend will keep going. Um, that's basically how it is. And yeah, how this gonna push through from this low and low. This gonna continuously break through this. Let's go ahead and have our trade on. See if it's tradable. I'll try to practice more projecting trades so that we will have opportunities always present ourselves in the face of opportunities. There we go. That's basically what I'm aiming for at least. to that key level. And let's see how this big Fibonacci is. For 150, 50% right there. After that, move up, then it extend the 50 a little bit bigger, but not a lot of my concerns. Yeah, the reason why I want to see the final destination around here is because there are 1 minute order blocks, and because the huge trend like this, it takes a longer time to transition. So I don't know how I will translate this into algo trading, like machine trading, but it has a lot more technicals into it. But I think it will take more time to develop a bot than develop a skill for yourself. Because as a person, you can see this move, you can see a whole move, and you can analyze on your own perception, right? And when price come back down here, you need to wait for something else. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, I should say. And now that doji is changed into something else, which is fine, I guess. Let's see on FTMO if it is different. It's a little bit different on FTMO, but it's still the same doji, I should say. The same doji. Now draw the fib. .5 is right there. It's kind of like a mixed signs, I should say. So it's not entirely. I don't know why this is a black candle. Maybe a little bit of a gap, but I don't see why this should be a black candle if the opening price is right there. Yeah, I don't know why that should be a black candle. Maybe it gapped, maybe something else happened, but I would see that's at the doji anyways. That's a 7 pip stop loss, a little bit big, but that's fine. Let's go. Coming into the zone, I want to see some sign of rejection off of that. If not, then it should be fine. Good rejection. Awesome. That's some really good sign over there. So now if this candle close and this closes like this, then I can go ahead and draw my stop loss right here from the top. That's extremely good transition sign right there. Cool. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, we don't trade Friday. It's gonna continue into the trend. I guess what I should say, the mistake that I have made here is just seeing the chart by what it is and essentially seeing both chart differently. So on this one right here is a gap up and then push down. It's not really one order block itself, so that's one thing that I need to fix in terms of scattering price action. Yeah, this is a loss right here. Still need to a lot of fixing, a lot of fine tweaking. Only one of us. Only one of us can make it out alive, and it's not you. Only one of us. Only one of us. Only one of us is gonna make it out alive, and it's not you. Only one of us. Only one of us is gonna make it out alive. So misunderstood. Let's cut back up once again. Yeah, it's an overall bullish trend, I should say. Alright, that's the mistake that I made, so I don't have a lot going on today. How is melting price right now? Um, what I should say here is that this zone here is just Friday caution, and I need more work on setup base identification. So this was not a 1 minute order block on the FTMO terminal. It is, however, yeah, this was a gap on the chart, or it is the FXCM. I'm gonna try to see all the charts exactly, see if the same thing. Forex.com, maybe. See how that works. That's a doji as well. So on across multiple platform, it is a doji, just a doji, and yeah, that's the same way. So yeah, I should have known on these. This is a gap right here, or more or less, it's not really a um white candle that forms an order block. I know that numbers just mean numbers, but sometimes it be nice there. I've been watching my own voice playing back, so that's kind of doesn't help. So you have to be present on the stream in order to see it. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. So I guess if you leave it running in the background, it doesn't help. It doesn't say that you're a concurrent viewer. It just say that there are views, but essentially nobody is viewing it like live. I just say it doesn't matter anyways. Uh, but yeah, from this one point here, we see a little bit of a setup. I don't think it's gonna be too significant though. That's gonna push down. It's Friday, and that's another thing I need to work on too. Is not to trade too aggressively on Friday, and to be sure on Friday, because it's low liquidity. It causes the yeah. So low liquidity causes the price to move easier when these kind of moves happens, right? Usually during the week, the lot size is around 400,000 to 500,000, or basically when institutions want to get out of the trades, that's what they're doing. Um, they're trying to get out of the trade, so that's why sometimes price broke through the upside and then trying to reverse afterwards. This one here, kind of reaching the 50%. I don't mind. Not trying to be too precise. It's just something of a dynamic zone, I should say. This one here, let's see, we have any three. No, five, no, three, one. There is a 1 minute there. So Friday, you can see today we don't have a lot going on, but setups when it does happen, it does. So one thing here is that trades identification. I need to work on this. This is not an order block. This is not an order block, and I still see it because on the FTMO terminal it has the green candle. So I kind of mix in between. I should trust the one that I have at the moment on Trading View, and just stick to that one alone. So essentially, I need to base my setups better, see identification more, and just focus on the one chart instead of looking on comparing two charts. And so, yeah, that's just one thing. Even though there's a sign of jet rejection, this is a sell for me right here. Right after this rejection pushes price down, that's a graveyard. I try to enter a little bit, try right after, trying to catch that move, but it didn't work out. So that's one thing. A good rejection on the off this zone, but this was not an order block in the first place. It was just a doji. Yeah, that's it. We don't have a lot going on today. Let's give a little bit of a talk here. So, ever since I got the job here at Holtec International, I don't know if I should say it, it's confidentiality, but yeah, ever since I got a new job, the money's good for my age, anyways, for my age, so that I don't need to worry about financial obligations, and so if money is the main problem, then I have partially solved it. So in a way, I don't need to worry about living on paycheck to paycheck, living cautious about money anymore. I've been able to make enough money so that I can go to the supermarket, pay rent, pay car insurance, pay loans without worrying, and still have something saved up. And my mom, I still want to convince her that she can work whenever she wants to, and it seems like she is getting it. She is working whenever she wants to, and yeah, slowly our lives are improving, and I should say everything is getting better. It's just progressively every single day. Um, every day I wake up and I sit around right here, and I try to envision in the future where from two no just 1 year from now, 1 year and a half, 2 years from now, I could be sitting here for 2 hours a day. That's it. No more working after. No more late nights. No more tired nights. I can go and work out. I can go pursue my boxing dream. I can do other stuff that enlighten me, creative stuff, and yeah, just think about that. Helps me and keep me motivated because 2 hours of work every day, 2 hours, and the potential is basically high. If I can do it long enough, I have a portfolio, and then more investment gonna come, and I'm gonna pass more challenges, get more funding, and it's just something I don't strive to like run towards. Something I just walk and kind of basically jog towards because it's something on the line where I something I could hold on to and basically head towards that direction, and that's where I am today. Um, and not where I am now, but am today heading towards that direction. And something I have learned from other people is that don't chase money. Money is the means created by the system, is the medium of exchange. People say once they have enough money to a certain amount, it doesn't matter anymore because you can afford the things that you want to with ease. You can afford the things that you want to outside of the norm, outside the medium salary, fine, just fine. So, I've learned from those words and learn from other people's experience is that money is not the thing in the world. You die, the money does not go with you. What happens that when you die, if you don't have anybody else, no meaningful relationship, you will not be remembered. And that's something I'm not afraid about, but something is really tragic is that once you die, nobody will remember you, even through generations down the line. That's just family wise. But society and community wise, when you're doing something good, you'll be remembered and carved into something that is meaningful. So it's not something that I fear. It's just because something that is something is enjoyable, part of enjoyable in living, I should say, is to have meaningful relationships. And so when you die, who's going to be on your deathbed? When you are, in trouble, who's going to be there for you? Who's going to jump towards and basically take the bullet? Um, who are you going to take the bullet for? Right? You have something, some purpose, some social interactions. We are animals. We are social creatures. So in the same way, we take pleasure in pleasing. We take pleasure in seeing others enjoy themselves, seeing others, living life well. I see pleasure in that, and if I can be a small part of that or support a small part of that, I would be somewhat pleasureful and grateful as well. And yeah, that's just something that I say, something that I want to put out, saying to myself, yeah, extremely grateful for the life I have at the moment. Um, yeah, from 3 years moving here and now being able to see my path more clearly than I was 1 year ago when I have school and work over the summer, right? Everything was piling up, and now when I don't need to go to school anymore, and my job has paid me good enough money for my good money, not good enough, it's really good money for my age. So I use the time in the morning to basically do this. And even after I got funded, I don't need to quit. I don't need to get off the job just yet because the schedule doesn't, it doesn't fight each other. The schedule fits together. That's why I work second shift from um, 3 in the afternoon when I leave to study welding as well. So it's basically combines together and the schedule fits together really well. And a part of that really comes down to luck. I say this, but luck, or it's not something about luck. It's just it's not a full blown luck. It's like I don't say it's about fate. I don't want to say it's about destined life fate or something like that. Um, I don't say it's fully because of God. I don't say it's fully because of some power, because society is built in a way that opportunities out there can be found. It's just through something, and that is through luck, right? If I The job I found right now pays me well because I've taken the leap. Most of my friends stay in their area because they feel comfort and they don't want to drive too far. I took the leap. I drive 2 hours every day back and forth to work. And after a month and a half, I was successfully able to move here, near closer to work, so that my commute time is you know, a lot better, so I can focus more time on myself and on my trading and have a peace of mind and something of like a fresh air. I'm able to bring my mother with me, so that's good. Um, yeah, life's been good so far. We have big plans for tomorrow. We have big plans for the future in general. And so I want to aim towards that. And I don't want to be too bitter. It's just life. I mean, you look around you, people have their own life, people have their own, family, people have their own problems. Just you're not gonna understand all of that. And as the older you grow, the more understanding you will get. Like when I was a kid, I watched shows where the messages were funny and something we should laugh at. But as I grow older, those problems started to present in my life, and I started to understand. I understood those characters. I understood the stories of where they're coming from. I understood different sides of the story. So as you mature, you have different kinds of different points of view that can help you in development in general. One things I think that is really underrated about life, about social interaction, is not kindness. It's to understand. It's basically is to understand others. Is extremely underrated. Let's say if you understand the other points of view, even you have completely polar opposite, right? You understand that, and because after you something you view as clear is already clear and is extremely clear to you, and it's extremely clear to the other person on both points, and both points are not wrong, either wrong or right. You just choose what you believe in, and so the conversation gets much more interesting because now you can bring up more points without offending each other. You can bring up more valuable, opinions and basically educate each other on the same topic without, punching each other in the gut. And so understanding each other, understanding each point of view and being heard and being spoken to, right? And you have the ability to speak with another person and being listened to is just something really valuable and something I don't see a lot. And that's something I don't have the ability to do. You know, in life, I just want to have one really good friend, one really best friend that I can really trust. Um, so far, since I moved to the US, it doesn't happen that way. The wavelength as I do when I talk about things, and they say, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I say, "Why are you thinking this? Why are you thinking that?" And because we're not on the same wavelength, right? Not because we don't, not because we can't get along. It's just that they don't try to dig deep and understand what a root of the problem, and they don't try to understand my point of view, and I try to understand their point of view, but they're sticking to your own point, and they basically crowded themselves with this shell. And I try to see and understand, try to penetrate this shell, but they stick into it and they try to attack me through the shell. Not attack, but basically tackle the problem or the topic that we're talking about through that shell. And as I'm trying to tackle their own shell to see what's going on, to see their point of view, but those conversations never hold long, and I don't see they don't on the same wavelength, even the curiosity to pursue it. So yeah, we still keep in contact. A lot of people still keep in contact. It's just that they have their own life. So yeah, I left, and I go on my own road, my own path in life. And one thing I found really cool is that I have been able to help my mother, someone I could not live without. I cannot live without her. So many times I feel defeated. So many times I feel beaten down. But because she was there and because I was there, we live for each other, essentially. Um, may sound a little bit too emotional here, but yeah, I live for her and she lives for me. And if anything happens to her, I can't go on normally. I would take a long time to move on. And the same goes for her. If anything happens to me that's devastating, then she could not live. So those three first for the first year, second year, and second year was really hard, and we've been able to pull through. So something I've been really grateful for. But yeah, I'm grateful that she's here. I'm grateful that, you know, life was given to me. Life was given to her and everybody around me. I would not change the world the way it is. I want to impact and put out my opinion, but hoping to change the world. I'm not hoping to I'm not hoping to put it out there. Uh 1 second. What is going on with the stream? The stream current bit rate is 45, 88.36 kbps is lower than the recommended bit rate, okay, of 4500. It's literally higher. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the stream. It's a good connection. It's not an excellent connection anymore. I guess I should move around, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, something to keep in mind of, I guess, for the future. It's just a future talk in general. But yeah, I hope to have some impact in the future. It's just that to get my opinion out there in the world so that it exists somewhere along the spectrum, right? It exists out there in the world so that people who would found it and form their own opinion, hopefully they would be a little bit more educated. Hopefully they would be more understanding of each other. And that's just how it is. That's that's essentially how it is about life in general. Um, you can't really fully understand each other if there are no point of views. There are nothing to bring up about. So yeah, right. The market is melting all the way down. Cool. So that's what wasn't really a great thing. The way that done the way I have done right there on FTMO. Um, but yeah, not a good thing. I just YOLO it. And let be honest here. Let me be honest about my trading on FTMO. The most recent challenge, not the challenge, is the trail account. The most recent trail accounts, the most recent trial account is not that great, I should say. This one here, let me put it up. So now I see that with the trend, you can literally do anything with the trend, honestly. And yeah, Friday or not, if the setup persists, then it should be able to do the same thing. But yeah, loss exceeded, all those stuff. I just YOLO it right here. This is not a good way to trade. I'm telling you, it's not a good way to trade. It's not trading at all. It's just gambling. But essentially, I was at that limit right there, so I just go ahead. Why the fuck not? So that's why I've been YOLOing it and put it right there. It does not matter. Okay, it does not matter how much is it. So do not follow this, and I don't think I'm gonna follow it in the future. It's just that I see the possibility now where it opens up. Where I see that the more you keep the trade open, the more profit you get. So 1 to 3 or not, right now the system I have been testing is 1 to 3, and I'm gonna stick to that system, stick to that the way of trading. But in the future, sometimes when price is melting right now, but in the future when you identify the trend and where the market is going, where the market is heading, then you can just go ahead and do the market and use the market as the way to use the trend of the market to continue pushing the market down. That's even a small break there, but I shouldn't really say that's a break. Let's see the 5. No, that's a 3 and that's a 1. But that's a 1 minute right there. See how this candle kind of point up over there. It's really dynamic, I should say. There's no 15 either. 3, 1. It's something of a skill base. So I don't believe in a set system, and I should lower my ego a lot more. Um, Even though it's gotten better, it's still one big thing in my trading that I have not fully gotten rid of. And so see how this price basically pushes down, forming this 1 minute order block here, but there is no trend line along the way what I can see. And so this trend over here, when it's 50%, see some good rejection. The candle is kind of ranging around until it's just pushed down, right? No signs here. This is just Friday. It's just typical Friday action. Is that price, even though it has good rejection, it doesn't even have that good of maintenance. So all this ranges right here. It ranges, I think, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. It ranges around 10 minutes, and then it forms an action for price to push down. So that's a long time to range. in a trending and basically a determined market where it's going to trend down once again. So it's a long time. 10 minutes for to stall after this sign right here, after this, selling pressure sign right here, the graveyard. And then there is a minor doji, so it's kind of almost even it out. This one here kind of evens out. This one down, but it's still trading previous candle. This one up here again, transitioning the trend, basically upside again. Another sign of rejection, some more sell orders. Price come down, more buying pressure coming in, even the previous one out. This one here is just basically an even battle, but it's mostly won through bullish. Um, so that's not that good. But rejection from both sides, so that's like a draw. This one here, not that great, nothing over here. And this one over here, this one is a hammer. Price come down and pushes up once again, trying to maintain the upside. And then finally, this candle doesn't really have anything much except to say that it has more buying um, pressure coming in. And then out of nowhere, it melts down. So you see how it works there. This one here is a mistake that I made. It was not a 1 minute order block, and I took it anyways. So yeah, that's one thing on my end I need to work on. But yeah, other than that, we don't have a lot of trend. Don't have a lot of trend breaks, I should say. This is not really that much of a trend break. There's a 1 minute here, so maybe not. I would do more backtesting in the future. But at the current moment, I will keep talking. I will just keep talking. I say. Uh, yeah. I'll use this background again. Really cool background. It's created by Midjourney AI, the art AI that creates generate random, generate random stuff, random art, I should say. But yeah, really cool background desktop. You know, there's something I need to point out. But yeah, other than that, I look for the future. Things are going along pretty nicely. But somewhere in my mind, something in my mind still doubts. And it's been bothering me. It bothers me because I doubt. I doubt. It's just, it's not about curiosity anymore. I doubt that's is not gonna work. Even though it's work, it works out, right? My brain still doubts something that is not gonna work out. And I heard stories from traders before on YouTube. They say that they have consistent, they are consistently profitable, but they make a lot of money. But then they still think that it's not gonna work out. They still think that someday it's gonna lose. Someday, all of this will come crumbling down. And I have the same fear, um, the same cautionary kind of feeling. Is something you can't get rid of. I should say is something that lowers around the corner because the market is so uncertain. Even though you trust your ability, it's something uncertain about the market. It doesn't let you to fully 100% trust in the process, and that's basically what happens when you let off your ego, right? When you let off your ego, and you basically see around and you say we, you say they, as a general, then you understand different kinds and you see different perspective. And the market is the same way. You see the markets in an open point of view. That's why the feeling comes in. And I think that's the main reason why I feel uncertain. I feel like someday it's gonna not gonna work, right? But then if I remain the ego, if the ego in me is still being, maintained pretty nice, then, if I believe in myself too much and there is nothing, then there is no fear because I believe in myself because I know what's going on, right? So I guess to get rid of it, it's just to keep experience. I don't know. I have not gotten rid of it yet, but yeah, I try my best to get rid of the fear and the uncertainty of the market. People who have succeeded still feel the same way. So yeah, I trying to see how that gonna work out. And one day in the future, I hope to develop a bot that can trade that word is so hard to say. Algorithm, 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 algorithmically. Yeah, there we go. Eh, algorithmically. There we go. Yeah, one day in the future, I hope to develop a machine, an auto trading bot that can replicate the same way, if not near same way, the way that I perceive market. It's just a peace of mind in general. But yeah, still trying to be on the market at all times. The skill in the market, the way you perceive the market is really weird because it comes with time. It comes a lot with time. And even though you don't know where price is gonna go, you have the rough blueprint, you have the rough estimate of where it is going. That's really weird, okay? You have the rough estimate of where the trend is heading. And if you're experienced enough, it works. The trend works because it's the system itself. It's just that you cannot predict what's the next move that the market is going to work. So the trend is always going to be there. It's just that sometimes it transitions, sometimes it does this and that. It's just the market in general. But once you get to the point of identifying trends, nothing can stand in your way anymore. And you can just fine tweak and work your branches down from the top of the tree, climbing down to the branches, and then going all the way down to the trunk, and then dig the ground up for the roots. And work back up once again. When you develop your trading strategy, you develop it from the roots. Um, Basically, you plant a tree and you need to get good soil. If you plant in bad soil, then you got to change it over time. But yeah, when you plant a tree, it's from the roots. So the slowly as slowly as it grows, you gotta stand on top and you're gonna work your way around it and you fine tweaking. And once the trees start growing bigger, you gotta climb up there and kind of trim off the leaves, trim off what is it so that the tree looks a little bit better, trims off the places where it has been infected, and then take care of the tree, take care of your strategy. Because over time, the soil will change. Over time, the weather, which is the market itself, will change, right? A hurricane can come and knock your own tree down. That's basically my worries. It's just that something along the way can abruptly happen, um, that my tree will not be able to work anymore. So I guess the way to avoid this is just to plant different trees and diversify. I guess so. If one thing fails, the other one will basically a fail safe where it can open up and I can trade that market. So that's why I think that's the reason why I'm not diversified just yet. It's still a lot depends on one pair, which is GBP USD. I still depends on one pair and that make me feel uncertain. So in the future, I may want to expand, into real estate or something, into index funds, into other stuff of investments, real life investments, physical investment instead of forex investment and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess the answer to that is to diversify and just plant more trees, grow more strategy, grows more way of proceeding the market instead of just depending on one tree and building reinforcement. There's like two houses, right? You have one vacation houses, and then the other house is near work or the main house. But yeah, that's like something you should basically come back and forth on. So I think that's a reason why I just answer my own question. It's just to diversify. So if something fails, you can still have money to raise yourself, I guess. Um, yeah, uncertainty, something fear of the unknown, the fear of the unknown, and just like how everything works, I guess. Um, yeah, how everything works in life is just like I believe in God. I believe in some power up there and in a beyond power because I have been able to work something out. I mean, like, well, since we cannot prove if God or some kind of grand energy exists, right? Since we cannot prove that it exists, he, she, they exist, we cannot prove that it doesn't exist, right? We can't prove the either side of it. So there are signs of these, signs of that. It can be forged, right? The other side say, oh, all this nature and stuff, the system been formed, and so I don't believe in God, so atheist, right? And another side is that miracle things come to my life, being grateful, believe in God, right? It's that we cannot prove concretely that he, she, it, they, the energy, something in power exists. We cannot prove it, and let's just call God, right? We cannot prove God exists, and we cannot prove God doesn't exist either. So it's like two sides in the middle because there's unknown, right? So I should say, so I look deep into myself. I see, well, what do I believe then? If there's no grand answer, if there's no right or wrong, what do I believe? And so I see what I believe in is that I do, in fact, believe that there is some power. It's just that I first I see it, I might doubt myself. I doubt that He exists. I doubt that God exists. But then I look into myself and I say, well, if He doesn't exist and you cannot prove that He exists either, it's not about doubt. It's curiosity. You are curious and you want to look into the reason there are two different sides, and because there is no answer, there's no definite answer, there's no fact, it's just belief, right? So look into yourself, what do you believe in? And so I look into myself and I see that, well, I do in fact believe that there is some power out there. It's just that the doubt is curiosity, whether or not God exists, whether or not God exists, and I seek it. So it's two different sides, and I say, well, yeah, I will believe so. I'll believe that God exists. I'll choose to believe so, and yeah, that's why I think most things in life goes, unlike the stuff that we humans have created, like mathematical problems and stuff, engines and all the other systematic things that we created, is it is artificial, and there is fact and there are answers to it, right? Unlike things in nature, right? We try to figure out one things and how it works, and there are facts as well. But why is it the way that it is? Right? A car, you can say how it is because we invented it. We invent the way that it works. Um, that's basically it. We invented the way that the car works, and so we understand the facts and the nook and cranny of it. But then nature, however, and all the different questions in the world, we just basically find the fact and we base it off the mask and on the surface. If you look deep enough, eventually you find your dead end. But why is there a dead end? Right? You keep curiosity, keep humanity evolving, and yeah, something really fascinating. So yeah, something's really fascinating about life in general. So if you stay curious enough, and if you stay curious and you seek truth, the answer will always be in your heart. The answer will always be what you believe. And so as you seek out and ask more questions and ask more, individuals and what they think, it's their own opinion. They form their opinion. There is no fact. There is no facts. Nothing. It's just opinion based. And because there's so many opinions, it forms facts. It forms different kind of systems. If somebody have an opinion, right, about something, and other people have tested it out or have not tested out or believe it, eventually, it'll become a mass thing. And then those are the founders. The founders and the first observer. The second observer believes the first observers that the thing works. And that's how the mass has been formed. Same goes for trading, right? All the trends, all the other stuff systematically. So we are the second observer where we believe something works the way it does off of books, off of something like that, off of courses, YouTube, or anything in general, free courses out there, right? And then there are the first observer. The first observer is the banks. They are the first observer. They see the movement and they can make the market the way that it does, right? And then the founder is the founder of the stock itself, right? The first observer is the one that brings out the whole mass. That's the banks, that's the broker, that's the hedge funds, that's the smart money you're talking about. They are the one that controls. They are the one that basically move the mass. We are as second observers. We seeing these from that perspective, and we are trying to understand, those clubs and how it works. The founder, think of a stock, think of a company. Uh, that's the way it is, right? Think of a pair, right? A pair is from two different countries, I know, but basically that's the founder because they're two different countries. They found that. That's on general. There's a deep stuff on that, but that is not generally not true. But let's say that, right? Let's say a company stock, a stock like Tesla, for example. Well, someone's got to find the company. Someone co-found a company, and then there's a stock for you. And then as the first observer, A first observer is that they observe and they have the capital, they have the money, so they can move the market in the way that they like. And then there are the second observer. The second observer is us, where we have to follow the first observer. We have to go ahead and understand how it works through the lens of the first, and then we try to follow different style of strategy and that people have make from various guys styles of trading. So yeah, we are the second and third observers, like in those levels. We have to try to understand the first, but we will never be able to get into the first observer zone, I should say. It's really fascinating how everything works. Um, we as humans, we just like any animal, just like anything in nature, we try to follow orders. We lean towards a structural order. That's why laws are set. That's why there are tribals, and that's why there are a set of rules because people and nature gravitate towards order, and it's something really fascinating, synchronization and stuff like that. Something happens in order. Same goes translate for trading the same way, right? It's synchronized. It happens over and over and over again. That's why you can make money out of the market. It's because the same setup happens and over again. The same criteria happens over and over again. That's how you've been able to make money. So the synchronization, something in nature, translate into every single thing that we do. Just that we don't look deep enough to question that. So yeah, that's basically how it is. Man, just like rambling a lot, but talking to myself sometimes can be lonely. Talking to a tree, I see you, I see the eye. So through my window, there are branches that forms like an eye. It looks like an eye, and it's like something watching over me, which I really appreciate as well. If there's the unknown, if there are no facts at the end and you seek deep enough, there are no facts. No, there's nothing. Nothing is facts. Oh, well, you can say that, if you hold a gun and then, hold it to, if you kill somebody, you shoot it into their head, right? And then that should kill them. That's a fact. Well, is it though? Is that the fact? Until you have discovered them yourself. You're being told an opinion. You're being told something of an opinion. You don't experience it yourself. How do you know that it's true? And so, on the surface level, you may think, yeah, well, that is reasonable. That's fine. But, well, how about the survivors? How about, they wear helmets and stuff? If it's not say about helmets, just naked, just basically bare head, that should be able to be facts, right? But how do you know? You're still the second observer. So that's the thing I'm trying to convey. You don't believe something until you experience it yourself. Well, not in that scenario, but you know what I mean. Not until you experience or seen it yourself. It's still just an opinion. And is it a fact? If it's fact checked and everything else, yeah, it is facts on the surface, but it's gathered from people who have opinions. And so everything else is formed based off opinions of the first observer. They are the first observer, the researcher, and then we as a second observer and follow the blueprint basically. So yeah, something to keep that in mind. Everything in this world is opinion based. There's no facts at the end of the day. If you look deep enough, there is no facts until you have experienced it yourself. It's still an opinion that it's in the largely of the belief, and you can believe it, and it's your opinion to believe. That's why, as a second observer, there are advantages because you can believe in one thing, and that can help you save your life, right? You can follow instruction, and that save your life. You can insurance, you can follow, car safety and stuff like that. It save your life. There are benefits of second observers, but just that staying curious and sometimes follow orders simply, right? And something is really right, something is should be a fact, It's still an opinion at the end of the day. It's still this. It needs to be discovered by you in order to be a hard set in stone fact. But until then, it's still just a really good opinion. It's still a really concrete and credible opinion. So yeah, it's just like that. You're a really credible opinion, and you as a second observer are basically trying to form the opinion yourself, so that if you have two same opinion, then it form a fact. To you, you believe that it is. To others, that's why there are arguments in this world about different things, because they have not experienced it themselves, and so they say topics about this and that. Well, they are opinions. They don't experience it themselves. How do they know, right? And so that's just about the world. Politics in general, I do not like politics. It's just stupid. I think people should just debate and have different kinds of opinions say set around across the table. But what's the fun of it, right? What's the fun of it if there is no political parties? What's the fun of it if everything is just run cleanly and not corrupt? What's the fun, right? The world needs to be corrupt. The world needs to have that kind of greed. Human nature needs to go on in the world so that we know from right and wrong, so that we know and we form our own opinions. If there is no politics, then something well may as well happen. But I like the way that it is now. It's it's intellectual. It is really intellectually challenging, so that it causes you to think even more, and it causes you to pushes you to understand different points of view. And so, yeah, it's really fascinating, in my opinion. So, with that said, it's almost 11. I'm gonna end the stream here. It's Friday, anyways. So, yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll keep back testing, and I will keep you updated. I guess I'll keep you updated on the future. I'll keep you updated later on tonight where I do live stream on back testing, and I'll see you then. Thank you for hopping on, and I'll see